This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first guest today is Mike Matern from Up North Prevention. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Nancy. How are you?
Good, and you know, this show is for all nonprofit groups and organizations, and with COVID everything has changed, but I know nothing slowed down or got quiet for Up North Prevention.
No, not at all. What we've had to do is kind of rethink how we approach what we do. And for those viewers who don't know what we do, we are a basically community education group. We're prevention specialists that work with alcohol and drug addiction problems, doing education. And so we've had to go from face-to-face to kind of a digital format largely. We are beginning to kind of get back out into the community face-to-face again, which is so refreshing. But in the meantime, the pandemic has caused an increase in like despair and hopelessness, and so people are using more substances. We've seen a spike in use go up, and a spike in suicides as well, and depression and all sorts of things. So we've definitely been busy. And what we're trying to do is reach out to the community through our educational programs to help make people understand, or help people understand, the real dangers involved with substance use, especially with our youth. Because as we now know, the teen brain develops until the mid-20s.
Right.
And so those substances can actually change the way the brain develops and cause problems in the future.
And you have so many different programs, so many different things. I get an email from you almost on a daily basis of things people can watch, and true stories.
Yes.
You know, what happens when you do something and where to get help. And so how do people access all of those webinars and podcasts and things that you do?
Sure. We, and like I mentioned, we have gone to a digital format. I'm on the media team, which produces and films and releases videos, and that can be found on our YouTube channel. So somebody can go to YouTube and look up North Prevention, and you'll find a series of videos that we've created and released, and we release at least one every month. There's podcasts on there, there's informational programs on opioid use and Narcan, naloxone use, stigma, all sorts of things. And that's a great resource. The videos are generally short. There's a few longer ones, but real nice resource. How to Talk to Your Kids About Drugs is on there, a 5-part series at various age levels. They can also go to our upnorthprevention.org,
okay,
and you can find our online classes that we teach on. Prime for Life is a class for folks that are struggling with alcohol or other substance use. We have our Guiding Good Choices class. I teach a class on the use of naloxone that's available online.
I've done that.
Yes, you have. And those are all available. And then people can also go to CatholicHumanServices.org, and that is our whole agency website where folks can find information on seeking treatment, on many of our other programs, and we have a lot.
And you know, you talked a little bit about Narcan, and it talked about education.
Yeah.
And I think probably groups like yours is on the forefront of getting Narcan with all of the law enforcement agencies and hospitals and emergency rooms and general public. So they always say, you know, you're only 50 feet away from a hidden camera, but you're only 50 feet away from Narcan at all times too, probably.
I mean, it seems like that, and we've worked really hard at getting Narcan out there to as many people as we can, because the opioid crisis knows no boundaries. It doesn't care about your age or your sex or your color or your wealth. It
Or your
touches
political
everybody.
aspirations or who you believe in, right?
Absolutely. Opioids don't care. And so the more people that have Narcan available or naloxone available, the better, because you never know who it might affect. Even, you know, if your grandmother goes in and has a hip operation, very often they're going to get a pain medication because of that. And, you know, there's a possibility for overdose anytime someone is taking any kind of an opioid. My own mother, as a matter of fact, fell about 10 weeks ago and broke her hip. And she's a tiny little woman, and you know the opioids can have a different effect on her more quickly than on somebody my size or somebody larger than myself. So it's so important to have it out there.
Okay, and what about, when do you think you will actually be going back into the schools? I mean, we're getting ready for school to be out, but when do you, is there any time? Because I know going in and talking about vaping and smoking marijuana, just because it's legal, you still have to be a certain age and all of that education. When do you think, because I know that face-to-face was so important, and I think maybe you know, changed a few minds.
Yeah, we were having an impact, and we still are, but I'm not sure if there's a timeline yet as to when. I think it's going to, at this point, is going to be dependent upon each individual school and when they feel comfortable having folks from the outside. I did just team up with Trooper Shane Noble from the Michigan State Police in Iosco County, and we did a series of vaping assemblies on Monday. So we are slowly getting back out there, but digital right now is still, and I think probably digital might be a part of our future for a very long time because we're able to reach more folks. But we're also reaching out in other ways. We've started a group called FAN, Families Against Narcotics, in Alpena, Montmorency County. That's going to kick off on June 24th with an event at the Woodward Avenue Pavilion. And for more information, they can just call our office at 989-356-6358. 6385, 6358.
You got it written down?
I do have it written down, 6385. And boy, I'll tell you what, it's been a long day. And they can call for more information on that. And then we also have what you mentioned, the wellness response teams, where if somebody is in an overdose situation, and you know, the best time for people to seek treatment is when they know they need treatment, and very often that's at the time immediately following an overdose. So our wellness response teams can actually respond to the person within, you know, 24 to 48 hours, what have you, with one of our peer recovery coaches, perhaps a substance use counselor. There's a whole team of people that can be involved. And there's an 800 number. Anybody can refer, doctors, hospitals, you know, you can self-refer. There is no wrong door to go in to get this help. And it's 1-800-356-5755 is the number for that. And then we also have Project Assert, which is a program where the peer recovery coaches can go right into the emergency room to help folks that are in a drug situation. Okay,
we're out of time. So the best way to reach you is call Catholic Human Services, upnorthprevention.org and CatholicHumanServices.org. Get in touch with you and find out about all your wonderful programs.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Nancy.
I'll be right back with Cindy Johnson from Huron Humane Society following these messages. Hi, I'm back with Cindy Johnson from Huron Humane Society. Hi, Cindy.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I had an occasion to stop at the Humane Society this morning, even as we're taping this, and holy smokes, are you folks busy there?
We are full of animals. It is absolutely crazy right now. Between kitten season, kittens coming in, pregnant moms, dogs, it is absolutely insane at the shelter.
And you have puppies.
We do have puppies. We have some red bone hound dog lab mixes. They are absolutely adorable.
Oh my goodness,
absolutely.
They're red, they're real red, and they are just beautiful, and their big ears, oh my gosh. I mean, I fell in love with them, but I just keep remembering that puppies turn into dogs.
They do, but they still need a home.
Oh yes, they do.
Oh my gosh, they are just absolutely, you know, when they're together, they're like run, 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 play, play, play. But when you get them one-on-one, they are just so laid back and like,
well, by the time this airs, I'm sure they all will be gone.
Let's hope.
Yes.
Let's hope. Oh, gosh. Yeah.
So, and you have volunteers in, so now obviously you're allowing volunteers in?
Yes, we are allowing volunteers in. We like to really give volunteer hours. Like this morning, ACES was in, and we thank them so much.
Oh,
Sue
yes.
and her group. We cannot thank when groups like that volunteer for us, especially when the shelter is so busy. We have so much to do at the shelter. To get those bigger groups in to help us on these busy days is it's help. We can't even explain
and
how.
you're a clean freak. So
we are a clean freak.
So it's, I mean, like with a capital F on freak. So it's wonderful because they come and do the extra little things that maybe you don't get to every day, but only maybe once a week or a couple times a week. So it was wonderful to see them dusting the baseboards and cleaning the corners, thinking, wow, I wonder what they charge to come to my house.
Call Sue. Maybe they'll come for nothing.
Yes.
But the groups like that are absolutely fantastic. So we can't thank ACES enough, the group that came today.
So what do we have to do to adopt some of these adorable adoptables?
Okay, so people need to check our website and our Facebook page. We try to keep that as current as we can. Our web pages, as soon as we get them in our system, our system is connected to our web page. So as soon as we get them in our system, they pop up. We have more animals. Yesterday we spent hours trying to get in the animals we have taken in over the last few days, because we took in the 9 dogs, we took in 14 cats. Yesterday we took in 8 more cats. And to stop and do intakes on all of those animals takes time. Testing takes time, and we have to do all of that before we can put them in the system. So we always have more animals than what you see on our web page, but the ones that we have tested and are ready, and they're up. And if you go to HuronHumaneSocietyInc.org, you'll see most of the current animals.
And I guess I would just like to encourage people too, when you're doing your shopping, when I first went there a couple of weeks ago, your shelves were just lined with sanitizing products, cleaning products, bleach, window washing things, and today the shelves are half empty. That's how fast you go through that stuff. So, I mean, if you went to the dollar store and bought $5 or $6 worth of things and took it out there, and if everyone did it, what a difference that would make.
And things like that help us so much. It helps us to put our resources into the animal care, which is the most important. So when people can do that, little, even 5-6 cans of cat food or a bottle of Windex or anything like that helps.
Paper towels.
Paper towels.
And a good place for your blankets and your good used towels and things, they use them. I mean, tons every day. Every cat, every dog has a nice comfy blanket to lay on every day.
And cats and kittens are notorious, and puppies are notorious for going potty inside, so we change those constantly. It's constant loads of laundry going through the room and fresh stuff going out. We try to keep their kennels as clean as we can possibly keep them. So we do an inordinate amount of cleaning and laundry daily.
And now what about your events, like your Bissell events? Will any of those be coming back now?
Yes, we just had a Bissell event. The next Bissell event will be in July, so people will have to watch for it. I do believe it's in the middle of the month, but I don't have the calendar, so I'm not sure. So we have one of those coming up. We actually have an event coming up next month because we partner with PetSmart and Gaylord.
Yes.
So they have an adoption event coming up where we'll actually take our animals over to the PetSmart and adopt from on site. So that's coming up. We're planning a huge garage sale next month. So we're in the process of trying to organize that and get that pulled together, so there'll be more information.
And where will that be held?
That will be held in town on Dunbar Street.
Okay.
So we'll get more information out on that.
So if people have donations, what would they do with them?
They can bring them out to the shelter.
Okay.
Drop them off. We'll be sorting and going through, so yes.
And bottles.
And bottles. I cannot tell people.
There's 2 huge bags there today.
I cannot tell people how much the cans and bottles have kept us afloat during this COVID when we cannot get out and fundraise. It's a lot of work, but we'll do the work to keep our doors open. So if you have cans and bottles, please drop them off.
And what about fostering? Are you back to fostering again?
We only foster animals that are in critical care.
Okay.
So like we had a mom come in the other day with 4 kittens. One of them was critical. The other 4, the mom and the other 3 were really sick, but one was critical. The runt was really struggling. We didn't have time to put out a call for a foster, which normally we would do. I actually took that that kitten home, and he did pass that night, which is sad.
Yes.
We got the rest of them into the vet the next morning. You know, when they come in like that, we immediately assess them. We start them on the meds that we know to get into their system, the antibiotics, the eye drops, all of that stuff we have in-house to get it on board if we can't get them to the vet right away. But they're in the vet by the next day. So.
Okay. And so if someone's interested in one of the cats or kittens, you have all ages and all sizes, and they're beautiful colors and markings. So if you're looking for a cat or a kitten, we definitely have it. So you have to come in, fill out an application, and what's the cost for a cat?
For a cat, it's $50. If they're not already altered, there's a $50 refundable deposit,
Okay.
and you get a free spay and neuter certificate to use at any one of the local vets. Sunrise, Schweitzer, and Alpena Vet all participate. So you get that done for free. Kittens are $75, same $50 refundable deposits. Adult dogs are $100. If they're not neutered, $50 refundable deposit, and puppies are $150, $50 refundable deposit. So it would be $200 for dogs,
Okay.
for $150 base price.
Okay.
Puppies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, you have those beautiful puppies, but I'm sure that they're not going to be there by the time this airs on Sunday. But if they are beautiful puppies, come on down to Humane Society on Monday, fill out an application, and
We also just put up, just so that people know, on our Facebook page, we put up an application too, because that's easy
Oh, yes.
for people to do. So there is an application on our Facebook page under the About section.
Okay.
If you can't find it, call us and we'll send you the link.
we're out of time. Thank you so much for taking such good care of our animals.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please stay tuned for Dr. Don McMaster following these messages.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, president of Alpena Community College, and I'm pleased to have as our guest this morning Mary Egan, director of alumni relations at ACC. Welcome, Mary.
Well, thank you.
Mary, you're part of your outreach to alumni is this wonderful publication, the Lumberjack Link.
Yeah, it's our print newsletter, and we just put out our new edition. It should be landing in people's post boxes soon, and it will be posted on our website as well. So hopefully those who are not already on our subscriber list will be able to read it online as well at alpenacc.edu.
Wonderful. And the issues, this particular issue is chock full of really interesting stuff, I think, and especially your cover story on Musa.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah,
speak
so
to that?
actually the whole edition, which I'm holding right here, it's funny, and we didn't plan it this way, but Musa Kaba, who is a student at ACC who hails from Liberia, is on almost every page.
As
And
it should be.
Exactly. It's the Musa edition. I believe it will be a collector's item. He is just an extraordinary student, and he is one that I learned more about, and I knew I had to tell his story in the
Yeah.
Lumberjack Link. But also, in just compiling the stories for this quarter's newsletter, I didn't even realize he would be in every story. He is so active on campus that he just shows up.
Yeah, he is. It's amazing. He is in our four-year program, correct?
Which is really interesting because I don't think a lot of people realize still that Alpena Community College has a bachelor's degree program. So maybe you can speak to that a little bit.
I can. Electrical systems technology, it's kind of an applied electrical engineer type thing that's related to grid management and substation control in the utility sector. It's a fairly narrow niche job-wise, but the jobs are very important, and they're well paying.
They are, and what's interesting is that this very specialized degree that we offer ended up being the perfect fit for this student from Liberia, Musa Kaba, who had originally come to Alpena as a high school exchange student through a incredible program through the U.S. State Department. He beat out thousands and thousands of other students in Liberia. He was one of 8 who got to come to the United States about 4 or 5 years ago. And he was someone, it's interesting, he was born and grew up for the first 10 years of his life in a refugee camp across the border and during the Liberian Civil War. and his family was at increased risk because they were of mixed ethnicity. His father was from the Mandingo tribe, his mother, and was Muslim, and his mother is Catholic and from the Luomo tribe.
Wow.
So because the Liberian Civil War was fought along these ethnic lines, they were at increased risk. So Moose's family fled over the border and spent the first, he was born in the refugee camp, no permanent housing. He describes that time as something he doesn't like to think about. He said it was horrific. But somehow, out of those circumstances, he bounced back, applied himself to school when he got back to Liberia, and talked about how he was never really accepted because of that mixed ethnicity. And so he came to America feeling, all right, I'm going to be going to this overwhelmingly, predominantly white Christian community. It's going to be very different. And he said he was prepared for that because of his background, but still, this was a different kind of different, so to speak. And he got here and he said he felt like he had found home, that he was so accepted here, and he loved living in Alpena. And when it came time for him to go to college several years later, he started off in Liberia, and then his host father for high school, Gordon Snow, who is the president of the APS school board,
Yes.
told him about this program at ACC. And Musa grew up without electricity. So he knew firsthand the importance of being able to get power to people on a grand scale. And this turned out to be the perfect program for him.
So his dream would be to take what he learns here, go back to his homeland, and establish a grid that gets electricity to people who don't currently have
In the
it.
entire country, only 12% of people in Liberia have access to reliable electricity. 12%. And his family was transformed because of a gift from his current host family to buy a generator, a solar power panel, and a refrigeration unit. And that has grown into a small empire in his village. They now employ up to 30 people. They were able to plant on their ancestral homeland. It has been transformative. And so he can speak firsthand about that and wants to bring that to everybody in Liberia.
What a wonderful story.
It's incredible.
It sounded like it moved you and you enjoyed writing it.
Oh, I just so enjoyed getting to know Musa and tell his story, and I feel lucky that we at ACC get to host him and get to be part of his story and part of his success. I see nothing but a hugely bright future for him, and as I said, he's throughout the issue.
Yeah.
He is on the cross-country team, which
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we have time for you to talk about that, but volunteers all over campus, just a great kid.
He is a great kid. Yeah, there is an article in there on a cross-country team which achieved a remarkable goal of having the highest cumulative grade point of any cross-country team in the country. Musa's on that. Of course,
Yes.
he gets great grades.
Yeah.
But the link itself is a way to reach out and tell these stories.
Yeah.
And Musa's story is incredible and remarkable and inspiring, but there are many types of stories like that at ACC, and this is what you're capturing.
Absolutely. It has been just so rewarding to learn more about our students and our alumni and to be inspired by them. And I think that their stories will inspire other students and other people in our community and make them understand that ACC is just an incredible resource in Northeast Michigan.
Wonderful. We got about 30 seconds left. Anything you want to say, the last words for the viewers?
Well, I would love it if folks would email me at alumni@alpenacc.edu. I will put you on the mailing list for all of our publications, and you will be the first to know all the great things happening at ACC.
Wonderful, Mary. Thank you. And thank you for doing a great job on the link and in the other areas that you're working in. There's a lot of fruit on that tree.
There certainly are. There's lots of fruit.
Thank you very much. And thank you folks for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
Nancy Smitham and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.